In the beginning, her relationship with her dog wasn't strange, but as they got closer, strange things started to happen. The husband was confused when he saw his wife's dog following her into the bathroom. He chose to figure out what was going on by himself. As soon as he heard the door close, he opened the security app on his phone. He had no idea what he was about to find out that would change their marriage forever. When David Knox's wife Katie asked if they could get a dog, he gave in without much trouble. Because he worked long hours at the office, she often worked from home by herself. He thought a dog would be a good way to keep her company while he was gone. Since the 29-year-old couple had just gotten married, they weren't ready to have a child yet. However, their Atlanta, Georgia, home felt a little empty, and a pet might fill that need. Katie gave her new friend Bailey. He was an Australian Shepherd who was 1 year old, and they hit it off right away. I quickly fell in love with him because he was honest and smart. David was glad that Katie had someone to watch her while he worked late, and it made him happy to see her smile. He was worried, though, when he saw that his wife was always with her new dog. He thought about whether he was angry at a dog. David was an accounting consultant who worked very hard and was determined to give Katie the life she had always dreamed of. There was nothing better for him than seeing her when he got home from work. Katie loved David just as much. Every night she made him dinner, and they were together all the time. He never knew what she did while he was at work, though. David worked hard for a few months and was repaid with a promotion that put him on a consulting team with more people. This meant he could work less and get home earlier. He was excited to tell her the news and celebrate with her. He planned to surprise her by getting there early. But he had no idea what would happen when he messed with Katie's pattern. To catch Katie off guard, David sneaked in through the front door. He hoped Bailey's running to meet him didn't mess up his plans. It looked like no one was home, though. Then where was she? David could hear the shower. He calmed down and felt bad that he had forgotten to check the bathroom. She wasn't gone, she was just taking a shower. But as he got closer to the bathroom, he heard a voice. Through the sound of the shower, he couldn't make out Katie's words. Who could she be talking to? He got closer to listen again, but all he could hear was the water spray. He stood there until it stopped and then called out, "Honey, I'm home." After that, there was a loud crash and then what sounded like a whine. He asked, "Are you okay?" "Yeah, I'll be there in a minute," she said, but her voice was weak. She looked scared as she walked out of the bathroom with Bailey by her side. Had he really shocked her that badly? "Why are you coming home so early?" Katie asked, and David told her that he had been promoted. He was confused by her dull answer and shy smile. He thought about the voice over and over again. He had to know, so he asked Katie if she was in the bathroom talking to someone. She looked at him for a short time before quickly pulling her eyes away. She said, "That's only to Bailey." David didn't trust her when he looked at her. She also said, "He keeps me safe when I'm by myself." He was worried that his wife didn't feel safe in her own home. David made up his mind to do something. But the fact that he really wanted to keep her safe would only make people wonder more. David thought about why his wife wasn't feeling well and wondered why she hadn't told him before. He thought about it over and over, trying to figure out what she thought Bailey could do to keep her safe while she was in the shower. Why did she lock him in the bathroom with her if she wanted him to protect her? David's first few days at his new job went by slowly as he got used to getting home earlier. What made things worse was that Katie was still taking Bailey with her to the bathroom while David was home. He could still hear her voice often when she was in the shower. She said Bailey was the only one there. But as she moved farther away from him, he began to doubt himself more. David also noticed that Katie wasn't acting the way she usually does. She forgot to do simple things like pay her bills or buy food because she was busy and stressed. And David thought it was time to make their home safer after seeing this too many times. He bought a doorbell camera that would record video of anyone who walked up to it and let them know when the front door was opened. He thought this safety measure would make Katie feel safer, since she would be able to keep an eye on any unwanted guests. In the end, it made him more worried and worried. Next day, David got a message on his phone that the front door had been opened while he was at work. The camera showed Katie leaving with Bailey on a leash, so he checked it out. He calmed down because he thought she was just walking the dog. It took hours before he got another message telling him they were back. He thought she had just been running chores that first day. But when it happened all the time, he felt uncomfortable. She had been at work for a while, so where was she going? Because he didn't want to be made fun of, David chose to talk to Katie that night. Though he had to wait for her to come out of the bathroom, Bailey was with her like always. He asked, "Who were you talking to in there?" Katie felt bad and sat down on their bed. Then she asked, "Haven't we been over this?" Bailey is the only one. Her tone was getting worse. David thought her defensiveness was odd, and that's when he realized his wife wasn't trying to avoid talking, she was just getting more and more angry. "Oh, you're after me now?" she sneered at him. David couldn't believe she was giving him the stink eye while he was the one acting strange. David stomped out of the bedroom because he was angry. Because of his pain, he had to find out for sure what she was hiding in the bathroom. But would what he thought be true? That night, David slept on the couch. The next morning, he went to work without telling his wife anything. He had a plan, though, while he was meeting and his mind was drifting. While he was on his way home, he stopped at a security shop and bought a small camera that was easy to hide. He would put it in the bathroom and watch and listen to what Katie did there. He put it in the bathroom that night after Katie was asleep. Everything would be clear for him to see, and he could hear her perfectly, even if the water was running. He watched with worry as Katie and Bailey went into the bathroom the next night. As they went behind the door, the couple still hadn't spoken, which made me feel uncomfortable. David opened the app that was linked to the camera for monitoring. He held the TV and watched as his life changed right in front of his eyes. His hand shook. At first, the live feed showed nothing out of the ordinary. Katie put her phone on the counter and jumped in the shower. Bailey had moved in close by. But all of a sudden, he whined as he walked toward the shower. "Towel, Bailey," Katie called out, and the smart dog brought her one. David watched as Bailey got something from the table next to the shower while his wife sat on the floor next to the shower. Katie had put her phone there. Was she going to call someone? That caught him off guard when he saw the thing. It looked like an orange pill box. "Good boy, Bailey. Can you get my water?" she asked her faithful dog, and it did what she asked. David saw Bailey lying on Katie's legs while she took a pill. Bailey's body was tense. He realized that the stress he had given her was because she was worried about her safety. There was a different kind of comfort that Bailey brought her, but he knew she was telling the truth. David knew that he had been wrong about everything he thought he knew. He felt terrible that he thought she was cheating on him when it was clear that she was going through something by herself. But his anger quickly turned into care for his wife, and he put his guilt on the back burner. Was she sick? What was the matter? Why did she not tell him about it? The worried husband couldn't wait for Katie to come out of the bathroom. David jumped up to help his wife, who was shaking. He was sure she would pick up on the fact that he had found something. Even though he knew a lot about her, he still didn't know the whole story. He took her slowly to the bed and sat down next to her, hand in hand. He didn't rush her and waited for her to speak. "I have a long-term illness," she said. "I have a service dog named Bailey. He keeps me safe. He stays with me all the time because of this." David took a shaky, deep breath. That animal was helping his wife, and he was jealous of it. Katie went on, "It's called postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. It seems like my heart rate goes crazy when I stand up from sitting or lying down, or if I stand for too long. Then I might pass out. Bailey can see when my heart rate goes up." She said that her long trips were usually to see the doctor or sometimes to practice extra service dog training with Bailey. David didn't know about it because she didn't want him to worry while he worked so hard. David felt guilty and worried about her more than he was angry at her. He told her that she was important to him and that he would always be there for her. He cut back on his work hours and went to all of her doctor's appointments with her. He also learned as much as he could about her illness so he could spot all of its symptoms. He got a better sense of Bailey's role, and the two of them quickly became close because they both loved Katie. David was glad that Bailey could take care of his wife when he wasn't around. When David got home, Bailey always got extra treats.